Welcome to a mobile car mechanic review. Today we're going to be reviewing this Honda specific scan tool from Launch. This one happens to be the X431 Elite for the Honda Acura models, which can be purchased from Amazon. Launch was kind enough to send this scan tool review, as we do a lot of work with Hondas in general. So we'd like to thank Launch for sending this unit to us. Let's go ahead and unbox this thing. All right, so once you go ahead and open up the box, of course, you're going to have the scan tool itself, and then a USB-C cable for, I believe it's going to be to update the device or to download data. So let's go ahead and see if we can talk about this device in a little bit more detail. All right, so you can power the unit by two ways here. You can either plug it in using the OBD cable here, or if you lift this dust cover here, you'll have access to a USB-C port, which can charge and power the device because it has a built-in battery. And also you can see here there's a micro SD card slot. So if you'd like to add additional storage for either downloading additional vehicle databases or possibly your data logs. So let's go ahead and get this plugged in. Now, as the tool suggests, this is enhanced for diagnosing Hondas and Acuras. You can use this tool as a generic OBD2 scanner, but I just won't have access to other systems like you would, with the Honda Acura enhanced diag, such as ABS, airbag, TPMS, etc. The generic OBD will just give you access to the check engine, or basically engine trouble codes. Obviously, the bread and butter of this tool is the ability to not only diag check engine lights, but you can also read and clear codes from ABS, airbags, TPMS, and other specific modules in your Honda or Acura. Not only do you have the ability to go ahead and read and clear codes, you have the ability to do bidirectional testing, which allows you to test components individually, such as evap solenoids, other components like the radiator, anything that can be turned on by the car itself. The scan tool does also allow you to program keys to your Honda or Acura. Unfortunately, I just don't have a key to kind of test that and show you, but the tool is capable of doing it. For example, if you have an electronic parking brake, which we don't in this vehicle, you can use this tool to retract the parking brake without having to do any sketchy tricks like powering the motor manually and potentially shorting out something. Once you're done, of course, with the parking brake, an example, if you're doing maintenance on it, you can put it back into its original position, all from this tool. The tool is updatable via Wi-Fi. I believe you can also do it through USB. Don't quote me on that. The great thing about this tool is the updates for the Honda Acura databases are lifetime. Once you purchase this tool, you'll never have to spend any money to update. It's a one-time purchase. Now, the tool does offer the ability to go ahead and purchase additional databases for other vehicles. It does state in the manual that any databases downloaded on the device, usually through the mall portion on the device itself, is only good for 1 year. So do keep that in mind if you do plan on downloading any additional modules. So now looking at the scan tool, you're going to be presented with a home screen. On this screen, you're going to see the Diagnostics option, which will allow you to read trouble codes from various modules on your Honda or Acura, again, such as ABS, airbag, any different module that your car does support. You can also do bidirectional testing. OBD2 will just be your standard check engine trouble codes. It'll allow you to also use this tool with other makes and models. So this is just generic reading. Nothing specific like how it is for the Honda and Acura. So you'll only just be able to read whatever the engine computer has, if it has trouble codes. You can also read emissions monitor data. So, check your monitors to see if they're ready or not. The mall will allow you to actually download other vehicle databases, which will also give you the same functionality as the tool is designed for Honda or Acura. So, for example, if you've got a Mercedes or a BMW or a Hyundai, Toyota, whatever it may be that you purchase the database for, you'll also have access to ABS, airbag, bidirectional controls, and whatever additional options that your brand may support via this tool if you download the database. upgrade will go ahead and update the databases on the device itself. So of course the default is going to be the Honda, which is lifetime. You don't have to pay for any of those updates. Just know that if you do have any additional modules that you did download or any databases, they'll be good for a year, and you'll get those updates for the year as well. Just note that you'll need to be connected to need to be connected to Wi-Fi in order to do the updates. Settings will allow you to go ahead and change the units of measurement, networking, etc. Just like basic device settings. Data, that's going to be where you're going to access any of your reports or logs that you saved on the device. All right, now that we went over the basics, let's just go ahead and run you through Diagnostics. Of course, before we continue, this tool should be plugged into your OBD port before continuing. Let's go ahead and click on Diagnostics. At this point, you're going to be brought to a brand selection screen. So if you have multiple brands, it'll be listed here, but we have Honda and Acura by default. We're connected to a Honda, so we're just going to go ahead and select that. You'll be brought to a summary screen here. So it's just going to tell you things like that were fixed, like any bug fixes or any additional functionality. So let's go ahead and click OK. Just wait that out. Okay, you're going to select your connector, in this case, the diagnostic link connector. We're going to go ahead and select 16 pin, and we live in the US, so we're going to go ahead and select USA. Let that go ahead and load up. All right, you're going to be presented with a vehicle information dialog. This will just give you basic information such as the VIN number, the model, and the year, and things like that if your car sports it. Just click OK. Now you're going to be presented with some options here. Health report. What this is going to actually do is it's going to scan all available modules and present fault codes, if any, on one screen, instead of checking each system individually or module. Note that it can take a while to scan if you do choose this option. What System Scan will actually do is just scan for modules installed in your car or vehicle, as the scan tool supports many modules that may not be present in yours. So just keep that in mind. System selection does allow you to manually select the module you want to read or test on. Service function will allow you to test modules, such as like putting the electronic parking brake in service mode, etc. I'm going to go ahead and do a system selection. I don't know why I did that. I want system selection. Okay. And now I'm going to go ahead and use PGMFI for example here. All right, it's going to give you a ECU ID. You can always write that down if you need. Okay, so module information is just going to be more of just exactly what we saw in that vehicle information dialog, just VIN number, year, model, and all that stuff. But at this point, we're going to be presented with the read, clear, codes, ECM, PCM reset, which I believe just clears all stored adaptations or learned data. Read data stream will allow you to log different PIDs. Read freeze frame data will allow you to go ahead and just do that. So anything that set it's basically a snapshot of when the check engine light came on and what the conditions were when that light came on. Let's see. Actuation test will allow you to control modules. So, bidirectional testing. So for, solenoids and things like that. We shouldn't have any fault codes, but I'm going to go ahead and scan anyways. It's pretty quick. Clearly there are no codes. Let's see if I can go ahead and show you maybe some data PIDs here. We can do some data streams. Just hit the exit button. But if you need to clear or anything like that, you can do that. We'll just do read data stream. I'm going to manually select. Let me see here. Do air fuel ratio sensor. I don't know if this car has one. I'll do battery. well, you can select multiple, PIDs here just to kind of get an idea of, what you want to look for. Then monitor that graph or monitor that data. Click OK, and then once we do that, you have the option of viewing that data now, and you can also graph it if you'd like. So if I want to graph the battery, I can hit record. Let me see if that's, there we go, yeah. So now we got a graph here, so we can look at it in graph form. Otherwise, you have your numerical figures here. You can record this, and this will end up showing that information in the data section that was on the home screen earlier, so you can always go back to it if needed. So now that we're done with that, let's just go back. I don't need to be there anymore. All right, now that we backed out, I'm going to go ahead and show you what it's like. You can already see how many modules that you can possibly connect to if your car supports it. Obviously, we don't have super handling all-wheel drive because it's just a standard Accord. But let's just go ahead and see what's up with the ABS. I'll show you that you can access this system as well. The system is just, this is telling you that, hey, the communication will be cut off if you're driving the vehicle over 30 miles an hour with the scan tool. I guess that's the way the module works in this car. All right, it'll tell you the ECU ID. Okay. So if I want to read any fault codes in the ABS module, I can do that. Clearly, there isn't any, so I'll just go ahead and hit exit. If I want to read data streams from that too, I can do that as well. But I don't need to do that, so I'm just going to go back. Just wanted to show you that. We can do actuation tests in the ABS module, because remember, this thing does bidirectional controls, so I'm not going to mess with anything there. Special function. So we can reset sensor data or deflation warning system, which I believe is just TPMS. If you need to reset the whole system, you're definitely welcome to do that. So go ahead and cancel that too. I just don't want to mess with anything. You just need to be careful with what you're going into. If you don't know what you're doing, you could definitely cause some issues. So that's really that. All right, so we went back to the, our menu screen here while we're still, connected to the vehicle. What we're going to do is we're going to go to system service function. So this is going to give us abilities to do an oil light reset, electronic throttle sensor reset. So that's going to mainly be used if you clean the throttle body and you want to readapt the position of the throttle body, or if you just replace it. You can bleed the brakes as well. This will do it obviously by pumping the ABS pump. You can do steering angle reset. This is typically going to be something that needs to be done if you replace the rack or the battery dies. But typically you don't need a scan tool if the battery dies. You just do lock to lock, all the way to the right and left. Brake pad replacement. This is mainly going to be used if if you have an electronic parking brake. So this allows you to retract it and put it back in a position once you're done. Coolant bleed, I'm going to assume that's going to probably be for vehicles that have an electric water pump, which I would imagine is probably going to be like hybrid vehicles or electric vehicles. If you do have a hybrid, you have high voltage battery diagnostics. If you want to program keys and or fobs, you can do that using the immobilizer keys function here. Obviously, you don't want to mess this up if you don't know what you're doing, because you can potentially create a problem where your car just won't start. So right now, we're in here. It's telling us we have a 4th generation immobilizer. I'm going to go to the setup. This is telling you that, hey, please know what you're doing. Otherwise, you are going to screw yourself. So let's not do that. Do immobilizer info. I can do... Let's see, key number. I think it does tell us how many numbers of keys that we have programmed to this car. It should be 2. Oh, 3, okay. So, check the status. If it does work. Okay. Not really sure what's going on there. But yeah, you can also add keys. If you have all keys lost, you can definitely do that too, which is pretty cool. You can add keys, you can rewrite keys. If you replace the immobilizer unit or ECM, PCM, you can do all that stuff here too. You can get all that registered with the VIN and whatnot. Keyless transmitter registration, that's going to be for your key fobs, because the fob and the key, while they're integrated as one, are two separate units. And I'm not entirely sure what the MPCS, MICU, and IMOES is. So, but if you do replace any of those modules, it looks like you can also configure them. So we'll go back. But yeah, you can see we can do a bunch of things here. Even reset the airbag light, which we can also do through going to the module itself. But yeah, now we're going to go back to the main screen. Alright, so now we're going to go ahead and show you the basic OBD2 functions of this tool. So if you want to use it with any car, you know, you can use it with Hondas and Acuras as well still, but this was just a generic OBD2 protocol so that you can use it with any vehicle. But again, this is just going to check your standard check engine lights. So go ahead and do that. Click OBD2. It's going to start loading. Now it's going to run through various protocols here until it finds the right one that your car uses. Once that's done, it's going to give you a basic summary screen, you know, showing things such as DCCs, so diagnostic trouble codes if any are present, how many of your emissions monitors are set and aren't set, as well as readiness monitors that are not supported on the vehicle. Go ahead and tap on enter to go ahead and be able to read or clear codes, and also view emissions monitor readiness. So enter. Okay, so obviously read IM readiness modes. That's going to tell you. I don't like that it does that. When I want to tap something, it goes somewhere else. That's probably my fingers being stupid. Okay, wait for the protocols again. Enter. Okay. Now we can do after diagnostic trouble codes are cleared, or status after driving. So let's do that. Right now it's telling us our ECU is a powertrain misfire monitor is complete, fuel system is not complete, comprehensive component monitor is complete. Yeah, so you'll see that the ones that aren't complete or not supported are listed in here as well. Let's go back. We can read live data as well. So also PIDs, different PIDs. And this is universal for any vehicle that you want to in the OBD2 protocol here. We can read fault codes. We're not going to have any. So we'll just hit yes. If you want to clear them, you can definitely do that. You can read vehicle information. Don't know what this control of. Let's see what that does for OBD, because that seems a little bit more. Okay, doesn't support it. Let's see if tests are supported. Okay, so it looks like it tells you the monitors that this thing supports. So it looks like it can check misfire data, evap monitors, and all that stuff. So yeah, this is just the generic portion of the OBD. So we're going to go ahead and just back out and end that session and get back to the main screen. Now again, this tool allows you to go ahead and download additional databases. So you can do that using them all. Okay, let me go ahead and come back. I had the hotspot on, I guess it disconnected, so let's go ahead and redo this. All right, now again, this tool does allow you to download additional vehicle databases. So if you want to have additional capabilities, such as, you know, being able to read, basically have the same functionality as the Honda Acura databases on here, but want to use it on other vehicles, we can do that by going to the mall. So make sure you're connected to the internet. Let's go to the mall. I'm not going to purchase any of them, but you'll see here that each brand has their own specific costs associated to it. So we can do, let's see. This is all, so it's going to show all the brands here. But if you want to sort it by, you know, different types of vehicles, so we can do a European. You know, we have, you know, BMW, Aston Martin, Audi, Ferrari, if you're that rich, Land Rover, McLaren, yes, if you're really rich, Mercedes, Porsche. You can buy these, and these are good for 1 year, and they will do bi-directional testing. They will do enhanced diagnostics to access like airbags, ABS, TPMS, whatever modules, like, you know, anything ADAS or any of that type of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty basic. Let's see what happens if I try to buy it, but I'm not going to buy anything. You will have to put like a credit card or PayPal in there. So as you can see here, it states that the software cannot be used after its expiration date. So as you can see, it says Aston Martin 12 months, so it's only good for 1 year. So just remember, that's if you do purchase this. Now, if you were to purchase this scan tool for, you know, they don't make just this Elite for Hondas. They do make them for other brands too, like Toyotas and whatnot, which will have the lifetime updates. But if you don't want to have to have multiple devices, this does give you the ability to just go ahead and have that database there. Now, if you have multiple databases, or including the one that's built into the device itself, which is the Honda Acura, which is what I have here, I can go ahead and upgrade the database. And if there's an update, which there looks to be one here, we got a little notification saying that's number 1. So let's see what this is saying. This is a firmware update. I think someone's gonna select all and just do update. See how. Okay. So now it's updating them. And it'll update different modules that are supported here. I won't bore you with updates here. I'll come back when they're done. All right, so once the updates are done, it's going to prompt you to install them. So we'll just go ahead and click OK. Install. This thing runs Android, it looks like. This might take a while depending on what's being updated. So we'll come back once it's done. All right, now that the update is done, just gonna go ahead and click done. That took about a couple minutes to install. All right, now it's saying that the configuration is being updated. We're just gonna let that do its thing. I figured we were done, but I guess not. So this is your update process, it seems like. So again, we'll just come back when it's done. All right, so now the upgrade is complete. Now I'll just show you data. I don't have any data stored in here, but it does allow you to go ahead and check the diagnostic records that you did, like recordings that you did. Since I don't have anything there, it's going to be empty. Any reports that you saved will also be in here, so that's going to be mostly from your health reports. Now, you do have the ability to go ahead and view diagnostic trouble codes, so if you don't want to Google it or just don't have internet access at the time, you can go ahead and just, put in the code here. So I'll do P420, which is it'll tell you what that is. So it's a catalyst deficiency error. Oops. Gotta scroll from the bottom here. So it'll explain what the code is, and also kind of give you an idea of what the code entails, as well as, what sets the condition. So we'll go back. That's just, for example there. DLC, it should tell you, this will kind of tell you in your typical areas of your Honda or Acura, that this is where Honda typically, in most cases, will have their various locations for the diagnostic connector, so the OBD connector. Some older Hondas will have it right under the center console. Some will have it on the right side, right in the middle, mainly on the left side, like this one right here. So you can do that. image, and I think those are for screenshots. So if you want to take screenshots, you can do that. Firmware fix, this is mainly going to be used if you want to update the firmware in the device, the VCI itself, which is built in, so the vehicle communication interface. And of course, you have access to the user manual if by chance you don't have the book on you, or you lose it. And then we got settings. So you can change your units of measurement. We have it on metric. You can change the brightness of the display as well. You can make it really bright and put it back to where it was. Sound, if you want to have it on, the touch sounds. Network, so that's how you connect to the Wi-Fi. You can change the language and the time zone. Workshop information, that's going to be more of like if you have like a shop, or you just want to have, your shop name and address and all that stuff. So if you have reports, it'll put that on there. Cleanup will just clean up any caches and any junk crap that's on the device itself. Screen capture, if you turn that on, I believe it gives you the ability to just go ahead and put a little image button there so you can go ahead and enable the screenshots. And then of course, about is just going to be really the basic details of your device. So nothing of really any use there, unless maybe, I don't know, warranty or something like that. Language, these are the languages that it supports. I'm just gonna keep it in English. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the scan tool here. I mean, it's a pretty cool tool. Pretty darn good for what it does and the price. I believe at this time it's like $169, and I think there's like a coupon as well. I can't remember what the coupon's for, but I think it's like 30 or 40 bucks. I'll put the link in the description so that you can go ahead and check it out. But I mean, overall, I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, for the price and for what you're getting, I mean, you're getting literally Honda, Acura dealer level scan tool functionality out of this thing. You know, most scan tools are just going to have the ability to read, you know, your just check engine light codes, and then that may be good for the average consumer and stuff like that. But if you really do want to have more control and be able to do a lot more of what the dealer does, you know, like specifically the electronic parking brake, or being able to read modules and program modules, I mean, for the price, I mean, that's insane. Because I mean, before we had all this, you had to buy those scan tools, like, you know, those tablet style ones that does all makes and models, that are costing like $800 plus to do all those type of things. If you just have one specific brand at your house, or just you want to be able to do all those things with just your specific make and model, then honestly, I'd recommend the tool. I mean, and having lifetime updates means that if you do continue to have other Hondas or Acuras in the future, then you don't have to change the tool. It'll be able to support newer vehicles, and you don't have to pay for those updates. So all in all, I would totally recommend this. I mean, and given that the fact that we work on a lot of Hondas and Acuras out here on Mobile Car Mechanic, I would totally recommend it. I mean, this is definitely going to be a lot more useful for me, especially if, you know, I've always really been interested in the immobilizer stuff. So being able to do that in the future, if for any Hondas, if I need to program keys or key fobs, then I don't have to go to the dealer or call a locksmith to do it. The only thing I would need to have a locksmith do, or even the dealer do, is just cut the key, and I can just go ahead and program it myself without having to charge me a couple $100. And that's, you know, the tool costs less than going to the dealer to get a key made. So again, all in all, I would recommend this tool. If you guys have any questions or anything about the tool, feel free to go ahead and shoot your comments in the comment section, and I'll do my best to go ahead and try and answer your questions. But otherwise, I mean, this has been a Mobile Car Mechanic review. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.